you're promised 12 to 15% annual returns from short-term rentals of an apartment in Phuket, then ask just one single question: who's going to manage it? Most investors, when buying real estate in Phuket, think about the layout, the price, the view from the window, but almost no one thinks about management. And then they wonder why the apartment isn't making any money. My name is Fedorova, and I've been investing in international real estate for over 11 years now. In this video, I'll tell you the whole truth about short-term rentals in Phuket. Is it profitable to handle the management yourself? What are the nuances of management by a hotel brand? And what questions should you ask the developer when buying an investment apartment? Regardless of where you invest, whether it's Dubai, Bali, or Phuket, you can choose one of three rental options: annual contracts, monthly rentals, or short-term. As for which form to choose, I think we'll record a separate video because we could talk about that forever. Today we'll break down three management models for you. The first is self-managed rentals. The second management model is a management company from the developer. And third is when there's a hotel brand that takes over the entire management cycle themselves. And let's start with the one people love most and the most common: self-managed rentals. Buying an apartment from a developer who lets you do whatever you want with it seems like a very tempting bonus. You can live in it yourself, you can rent it out yourself, you can manage it however you like, but it's not that simple. Let's say I have an apartment, you have an apartment, and our videographer has an apartment. And we've put them all on, say, booking.com, on Airbnb, and started doing what? Simply killing the rental rate with our own hands, which of course will lead to much lower returns than you expected. By the way, take the example of my client, Sergey. I met Sergey on my investment tour this summer, and he bought property in a project here in Phuket. Not through me, but earlier. So the property was finished, and he faced the fact that when he started renting it out, he had to check people in and out, check-ins at 3 in the morning, then the toilet broke, then the AC, then a leak, then there are clients, then in the low season, none. To which he just cursed, frankly speaking, his investments in Thailand. First, he wasn't getting the stated return of 12 to 15% annually as the agent had promised him. And second, he became a hostage to his own property, carrying out all these operations himself. And he turned to us to solve his problem. We solved his problem easily. We sold his apartment. Luckily, it turned out to be more or less investment grade, and it wasn't very difficult. And after that, we re-entered a project with him that has a hotel brand manager, so he has no more worries and lives purely on passive income. The second option for managing your property is the developer's own management company. Actually, this option would seem very decent because the developer is directly interested in their property being rented out. The developer also profits from this, puts in a lot of effort, and most importantly, invests money in marketing. And they can also sign large contracts right away with, say, tour operators who will ensure occupancy for you in both high and low seasons. Everything seems great, except for the fact that besides you and frankly the people living on the island, nobody else knows about this hotel. And this no-name management company means absolutely nothing to Arabs or Indians who provide occupancy on the island during the low season. That's why judge for yourself, where will a client go first? To a familiar, understandable place like Radisson or Ritz-Carlton, where the level of service, quality, breakfast options, number of restaurants, and so on are clear? Or will they go to some no-name hotel based on reviews from other tourists? You'd have to really dive into those details. Yeah, not everyone does that. In short, the conclusion is that your yield from renting through a developer will likely be potentially higher than even self-management. But at the same time, you need to understand that vacancy risks still exist, and they are mainly related to the low season. And the third option is a hotel management company. This is my favorite option, and here's why. It's simple. Because the hotel brand works for you and has been laboring on its development and marketing for over 75 or even over 100 years. There are completely different hotel brands. Can you imagine people invest millions of dollars specifically into the development and maintenance of these hotel chains? Well, of course, if you fly to a completely new, unfamiliar location, you're more likely to stay at a Radisson if it's in the same price category as some unknown hotel. Because you'll already understand the hotel standards, that there's quality cleaning and you'll be checked in and out on time and they'll feed you and everything will be at the level of a good 5-star hotel. So why pay for a pig in a poke and for a completely unclear level of service and comfort? That's why, of course, hotel brands have higher occupancy in any location in the world than non-hotel ones. But there are pitfalls here too. For example, the strongest, most expensive luxury hotel brands like Four Seasons or Ritz-Carlton or even Marriott, sometimes distribute profit not in favor of the investor, but they take 70% for themselves and give only 30% to the owner. Of course, with such an investment strategy, a yield of 2 to 3% probably won't satisfy you, although the Swiss, who already have negative interest rates on deposits, would actually be happy with a yield of 2 to 3%. The same can be said about Singaporeans. But Russian citizens who are used to earning completely different figures will of course be unhappy with their investment. Conclusion: if you're considering a management company, look for developers with a hotel brand that splits profits, for example 70% to the investor and only 30% for themselves. Mainly such projects are found in Radisson. On Bang Tao Beach on Phuket Island, there are even several Radissons. One is Radisson Individuals, located 500 meters from Catch Beach Club. A magnificent building, all glass, with an aviation aluminum facade and absolutely unique, extensive infrastructure within the complex, ensuring occupancy not only in high season, but also in low season. Also, on Layan Beach, 350 meters from the shore, there's Radisson Blue and Radisson Suites. This is a more compact option, but closer to the beach location, already built and commissioned, with both hotel and residential sections. An absolutely wonderful property that also enjoys high occupancy among tourists of many different nationalities. Because for tourists from Arab countries, they have their own specific dietary preferences, what they eat for breakfast, what they eat for dinner. All of this is very important. And when they stay with an international hotel operator like this, they can rest assured that they and their children will definitely have something to eat at breakfast or dinner. All these nuances should be clarified in advance, even before you make your reservation payment. My team at Deep Phuket and I have compiled a selection of the top 7 investment properties in Phuket today, with clearly calculated entry and exit models for various investment strategies, rental income, management model, and resale value at different stages of ownership. You can download it via the link in the description of this video. The management system is one of the 5 most important criteria when choosing investment real estate. Watch my video right now where I break down all these criteria in detail, and see you in the next episodes on Phuket Island. This was Diana Fedorova.